Good morning. My name is Dr. Jennifer Phillips, and I'm going to be teaching EDU 688, Diversity and Exceptionality in the 21st Century Classroom. This class was formerly known as Human Growth and Development, and we did change it to meet the new needs, growing needs for our 21st century classrooms. Right now I am sharing my screen, and it is the syllabus part 1, and I'd like to go over this with you. So let's just go ahead and start. Again, I said, the class is EDU 688, Diversity and Exceptionality in the 21st Century Classroom. We will be meeting 100% online. This is an asynchronous class, so we will not have face-to-face time. My phone number is area code 229. My phone number is 226-1621. I'm at extension 1045. And my email address is jphillips@thomasu.edu. So let's get into the course description and see if we can get through this quickly. This course is designed to examine educational and developmental theories, focusing on how diverse and exceptional students learn and perform through the lens of cognitive, linguistic, social, emotional, economic, and physical developmental inquiry. And you need to have been approved admission into the Thomas University Division of Education graduate program or by special permission of the instructor in order to take this course. The course learning outcomes, and you'll be able to read along with me, so I will go through this quickly. Again, so the course learning outcomes, at the end of this course, a successful student will be able to demonstrate advanced knowledge of the student as influenced by cognitive, physical, emotional, social, cultural, environmental, and economic factors. Continuing down the column, you will demonstrate the knowledge of major learning and developmental theories and how they explain student learning. You will be able to exhibit the ability to meet the diverse needs of exceptional students, and you will be able to provide evidence of an understanding of the cultural and linguistic context of learning. And how are you going to do that? So we have 5 different methods of assessment. The first one is Bridging the Divide project. The second one is the cultural autobiography, reflective personal development paper. The third is field experiences. The fourth is equity issues paper and the equity issues paper presentation, and then the midterm exam. It sounds like a lot, but I promise you, I'm going to go over everything with you to alleviate any stress or anticipation. And you'll see in the next 2 columns, under General Education Student Learning Outcomes and Allied Program Student Learning Outcomes Program Accreditation Standards, and they are filled in, and you're welcome to look them up as well. So I am scrolling down through to the General Education Student Learning Outcomes, the SLOs, probably what you've referred to them as. And of course, each academic program and course contributes to students' development of 4 General Education Student Learning Outcomes that distinguish the graduates of Thomas University. These capabilities characterize men and women prepared for professional careers, global citizenship, and lifelong learning. Now, you have seen these many times in your syllabi. Think critically, discover information, foster community, and communicate effectively. So, I would like to continue on for the method of assessment and evaluation. The first one I'm looking at is the midterm exam. This exam provides the opportunities to demonstrate the student's knowledge of the rationale and goals of cross-cultural teaching, gender equity and sexual orientation in public education, and race and ethnic equality in PK-12 education as it applies to issues related to this course and how it impacts students in the classroom. and this is worth 10% of your grade. The next one is Bridging the Divide project. For this assignment, the student will gather data and engage in a constructive dialogue with a first or second generation immigrant family, or a family that is of a non-majority culture within the school, country, or context in which you work. The student, that's you, will analyze their findings and reflect in writing on what they learned from this experience. Now, that is worth 30% of your grade. Next, we get into the cultural autobiography reflective personal development paper. The paper should be approximately 2,500 to 3,000 words in length, roughly 5 to 6 pages, with an APA-style cover page and a works cited page if applicable. The purpose of this multicultural autobiographical assignment is to increase awareness of your cultural identity as a step in better understanding students who come from a wide variety of backgrounds. This exercise challenges each candidate to critically unravel his or her cultural assumptions by reflecting on the events and life experiences they have shaped their cultural premises. This is worth 20% of your grade. Moving down the list, equity issue presentation. The purpose of this presentation is to build awareness and knowledge across issue groups so that your peers who have focused on other areas can benefit from what you have learned and improve their own development as teachers. Your equity issues presentation should provide an overview of your issue, including key findings, problems identified in your school or workplace, possible solutions, suggestions from your colleagues, and your own reflections, conclusions, and recommendations. And this is worth 10%. Now, of course, this presentation is based on your equity issue paper. This project provides the opportunity to demonstrate your knowledge of the history, research, policy, and current practices in ESL, as it applies to an equity issue, related to this course and how it impacts those in your own classroom or your fieldwork school. The paper and presentation should provide examples of compelling new collaborative research and programs that link universities with P-12 teachers. You will identify a salient issue in your school, for example, racism, stereotyping, bias, lack of access to programs, placement in special education. You will continue on to review the research in the field, citing a minimum of 5 references. You will identify 2 strategies to address this issue in your classroom or school. You will identify 2 strategies to address this issue in your classroom or school. Again, typo. Create an action plan for implementation in your classroom. The class is based upon informed participation assignments. This is your class assignments. Students are expected to participate in class through discussion of the assigned content using examples from the text or other readings to support classroom experiences and knowledge about cultural diversity and cultural relevant teaching practices. While your current knowledge as a teacher is important to your understandings, finding evidence and research-based support is critical to expanding your knowledge as a practitioner. Further, students are expected to actively participate in class activities, be supported of their classmates, and conduct themselves in a professional manner throughout the program. This is worth 10% of your grade. And I failed to mention that your equity issues paper is 20% of your grade. So, moving on, I have received a couple of emails regarding textbooks for this class. And I will let you know right now there are no textbooks for this class. All materials will be provided online by the instructor. That would be me. What you will need is access to a computer, a printer, and the internet. You will need speakers with headphones, access to a printer-enabled device, and computers and such like that. Earlier I mentioned that we have a midterm exam. And you will notice on the screen, on the syllabus, that it says Online Course Assessment. And it says your assessment titled Midterm Exam must be proctored online via ProctorU, a live proctoring service. This service will be utilized in a fully online course at Tommy University for 1 assessment per course. Your course will be on the week of November 7th through the 13th. You are able to use any and all of your research materials. You are able to use anything that I provide for you, and I encourage you to do your own research on the topic, and provide additional supplemental information that you feel is valuable to the exam. And we'll get into that a little bit later on. So I am actually scrolling down to the syllabus part 2. I'd like to give you an idea of how this course is going to progress. The course schedule. So what we're looking at is we have the class dates and weeks, the assignments, the assessments and assignments due dates. You'll notice this on your syllabus. And what I am doing for this class is I'm having you review a video that I will provide for you on a weekly basis, and that will be content-driven material for that week. Then I will have you watch a video and possibly 2 videos that week. And then I will have you read a peer-reviewed scholarly journal article or an article that I thought was very interesting and to the point for that topic of the week. I will also put in your syllabus where you'll see us begin to work on for example, in week 1, cultural autobiography reflective personal development paper. I will notate when the paper is due. For example, this one is due October 30th, 2016. And then you will notice on to the next column, and it says homework assignments. And you will find those in the content section of the Blackboard, and they will be due on the 23rd. So if we go through and we're looking at the syllabus, you will see week 2, I have what is called content instructional video, and I've just told you what that was. You're watching a movie, you're reading a very good article, and you have another project due. Week 3, again, content instructional video, again, a video, again, reading an article. And in week 3, you will begin working on your equity issue paper, where I've notated that it is due 11/20/16. Week 4, you will review the content instructional video, and you will be reading an article, but you will be participating in your midterm exam via ProctorU. You do not have a video that week. Week 5, again, content instructional video. And this week we have 2 articles to read. And again, keep in mind you will have homework assignments attached to your readings or the videos. And this week we do not have any videos. In week 5 we do not have any videos. We just have the readings. Week 6, again, week 6 content instructional video. There is a video to watch. There is a reading, but you'll also notice on week 6 that you'll begin to work on your equity issue paper presentation. Please don't forget that you do have homework every week. Since we do not meet face-to-face, I am expecting you to do your homework, and I will be grading it in a very timely manner. Continuing on to week 7, again, another content instructional video, and there is a video to watch, and there are 2 articles to read. Now keep in mind that I have notated in red what your due dates are on your syllabus, so please keep those in mind. And week 8 is the final week, and this is when you're going to be submitting your Bridging the Divide project. So what I'd like to do is draw your attention to the appendices and in letter B, detailed course requirements and evaluations. And what I have done is I have given you some very detailed information about each of your assignments. Bridging the Divide project, your cultural autobiography reflective personal development paper, your equity issue paper, and your equity issue paper presentation. Excuse me. Now, I would like for you to scroll down to page 9, and that is where I'm giving you explicit instruction on how to successfully accomplish your Bridging the Divide project. Now, I believe you can go ahead and preview this on your own, but just to demonstrate what you will be looking at, you will have the instructions, the interview expectations, the participants and location, the interview process, the family context, processing the interviews, suggested formats for final written report, and your introduction, part 1. And we get into that very detailed, getting into findings. We're getting into analysis. We're getting into conclusions and recommendations. We're getting into personal reflections. Again, please understand I am always available for questions and anything I can do to help you with this. Continuing on, page 11, I have given you explicit directions on how to successfully write your equity issue paper. What I have done is I've broken it down into section 1, introduction to the issue in your setting, section 2, research related to the issue, section 3, possible interventions, section 4, additional feedback, and conclusions. This concludes reviewing of our syllabus. Again, please keep in mind your homework due dates, the due dates of your assignments, and if there is anything that I can clarify, anything that I can do to help you, please let me know, and I would be very happy to help you. Thank you. Now, I would like for you to watch the next video, which is the content-specific video that I mentioned earlier in your syllabus.